Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. If this is the first video of mine that you've stumbled across on the internet, then hi, my name is Millie. I make videos all about makeup and beauty products, testing makeup, different tutorials, making different looks, coming up with different looks, recreating different things from Pinterest and all those good things. But in today's video I am creating this look here. This is a fully drugstore, affordable makeup look that is perfect for a wedding makeup look if you are getting married and wanting some tips and tricks. So if you want to see how I created this look, what products I used, etc, then just keep on watching. So I'm starting with the base, and these products will, I mean, nothing here is new, but especially the base products, if you have seen literally any of my videos recently, these will not be a surprise to you at all. I am starting with the Collection Gorgeous Glow Filter Finish primer and illuminator is what it's called. I really like to use this as a primer, especially under the other base products that I'm going to use. This adds the most beautiful glow. I don't have the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, or whatever it is called, Hollywood Flawless Filter, something like that. I don't have it. I don't feel like I need it when I have this. It's such a beautiful, illuminating finish. I just adore this under foundation. So I've slapped a load on, and then I like to blend it out with a brush. And then for foundation, if we are talking drugstore, absolute top tier foundation, it has to be this one, the Revolution IRL Filter. This is the most fantastic foundation. I would use this on my wedding day. I would absolutely use this for a special occasion. It just looks so flawless on the skin. So I'm just going to take 2 pumps on the back of my hand. I wear this in the shade F3, and I have my makeup sponge here, so I'm just dipping into that on the back of my hand, getting a little bit on there, and then bouncing it into that primed skin. So before and after, it just smooths everything out so beautifully. I can't even put into words how fantastic this is. I was initially a little bit worried about this foundation because it says it's like a soft matte finish, and I have very dry skin, so I was scared of that matte claim. I had absolutely no reason to be. It is just a beautiful natural matte finish, but pair it with a glowy primer, as I did, it just makes it such a natural finish. It feels like nothing on the skin for the amount of coverage that it gives you. I mean, you can see as I'm working this in, it gives amazing coverage. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels so nice on the skin. It also lasts amazingly. Now, I do put this over my eyes and right up under my eyes because it has that amazing coverage. I find that I don't need as much concealer when I'm wearing this foundation because this just covers everything that I want it to. Now, of course, some people may want more coverage than this. This is 2 pumps all over the face, but for me, this is the most beautiful amount of coverage, finish, etc. I'm obsessed. So I do just want a little bit of extra coverage just in this inner corner. So I'm going in with the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer, the original like matte one, and I'm just going to tap this just in there. I don't want it anywhere else really. Maybe a little bit on this guy down here. He's not paying rent, but he's staying. And then I'm just going to start tapping this out with a brush, and I might go over it with a sponge. So I am sufficiently blanked out now. I will start the process of adding colour back into the skin. So this is the XX Revolution Cream Bronzer in the shade Inspire. It is a beautiful, warm, juicy bronze shade. So I'm just going to work some of that into my brush. This is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And I'm going to just start the process of bronzing up the skin. Obviously, the finished look, I'm hoping, is going to be a really warm, juicy, bronzed eye look as well, but we need the skin to have that colour in it as well, and this is a really, really nice one. There are cheaper cream bronzers from the drugstore. The E.L.F. Putty bronzers are fantastic. I just feel like I use those in every single video, so I wanted to use something a little bit different. Now, with this foundation, I don't find that I usually have to set it. However, it is like 35 degrees today, just a normal, like small 35 degrees. So I do have to set it today. I am extra sweaty, but if it is, you know, a normal temperature, you might not have to set it. Try it out, because you might. Depends on your skin, depends on the temperature, depends on all of these different things. But I am going to set mine today. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation in a powder. I have this in the shade 020 Ivory, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this on a really small brush and just dust this down the centre of the face. So that is all of that nicely set down, and now we can go into the other powder products for the face, starting with a bronzer from the same collection as the powder. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Bronzer in the shade 250 Light. This is such a fantastic bronzer. It is a beautiful warm shade, which is obviously what we're going for today. It's a really nice amount of pigment. It's not too pigmented in that you can easily go overboard, but it's also really easy to build up. It's such a nice amount of pigment. It's not really sheer or really intensely pigmented. It's just a really nice amount. So you can see that that just adds a really nice, like, warm flush to the skin. Looks really natural still. All of these layers, and it still doesn't really feel like I've got anything on my face. It still looks really nice and dewy from that primer that we've got under the foundation. I don't have any highlight on yet, and my skin still looks really nice and glowy. So for blusher, we're going in with a Revolution one. This is the Revolution Blusher Reloaded in the shade Rhubarb and Custard. I wanted more of that, like, warm, peachier shade. Tapping lightly into that and keeping it quite far back, using a light amount. Just going to swirl that onto the cheeks, so that just adds a really nice warm flush of colour. So at this stage we do need to add highlight still, but I like to do that at the end. I don't really know why, I just always like to do it at the end. This is the Stay All Day Microfine Setting Mist from E.L.F. This is the best setting mist. I've tried so many. This is the best one. The spray on it is so fine. It really sets everything in really, really nicely, and I like to do it at this stage while the powders are still fresh on the skin, while they're still sort of settling down and everything. I like to do my first spray of setting spray. So while that setting spray is just settling down a little bit, I'm going to do my brows. So I'm using the Collection Incredibrow Brow Pencil in the shade Brunette 2 and the NYX Brow Glue. If you want fluffy brows, this combination is really, really good. So I'll be right back when I've got some brows. So that's how that's looking just with that NYX Brow Glue. Now, for my own personal preference, I prefer a darker, fluffier brow than this. So I'm going to go in with a tinted brow gel. Now, this is the Revolution. It's completely rubbed off. I think it was called the Brow Sculpt something. I can't remember. This is in the shade Dark Brown, so I'm just going to run a little bit of this through just to make this a little bit darker and a little bit naturally fluffier. Does that make sense? So, extra fluffy, extra dark brows. I'm here for it. So, moving on to the eyes. The palette that I'm going to be using is this one from Revolution. This is the Forever Flawless Allure palette, and it's just full of beautiful warm brown goldeny shades. This just screams bridal to me, this whole palette, and I'm just going to do really quite basic warm brown smoky eye with it. So I'm going to start with the shade Sensation on the top row on a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to pat that all over. And then with the same large brush, I'm going to dip into Risky and J'adore, lightly dip into both, and start working that through the crease on the outer corner. And then taking a smaller brush, I'm just dipping straight into Risky, tapping off the excess and keeping that on the outer corner and laying that down on the lid, but just on the outer corner and up to the crease. I'm also going to take this right along the lower lash line. So then I just want a tiny little bit darker, so I'm going to go in with the shade Nymph, just a teeny tiny little bit right on the end of this brush, and I'm going to keep that right on that outer corner. So I'm happy with how all of those are blending together. Now of course you could keep this matte if you wanted to. I, however, am a very glitter sparkly based magpie. I want lots of sparkle and I want it all the time. So I'm going to go in with Magnetic on this top row, and I'm going to just use my finger to really pack on a lot of intense shimmer. And I'm going to lay this down on the inner corner and then drag it right across the lid. So that's that glitter shade sort of all over the lid. I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of that Nymph shade onto the outer corner of the lower lash line, but I'm only keeping that like out there. I'm not bringing it right along like I did the Risky shade. And then I'm just making sure all of that is blended on that outer corner, and I think that that is the eyeshadow done. Super simple, like it's a basic eye look, but I feel like this looks really bridal, obviously because that's the look. So then, just for my own personal preference, again, I like a liner just to thicken up that lash line. It will really make your eyes pop in pictures. So I'm going in with a brown liner. This is the Collection Eye Definer in the shade 2 Brown, and I'm just going to scribble this. I have to like really focus. I'm going to scribble this along the lash line, and then I tap over it with a really small brush just to blend it in a little bit, and you can instantly see the difference there. This just looks more defined. Yes, this one looks a little bit larger at the minute, but once I've got mascara on, the darkness and the definition from that liner will make all the difference. For mascara, I really recommend the Lash Sensational in the waterproof version. I have run out. My waterproof one is empty, it's dead, it's gone. So I'm going to use the original one, but just know that the waterproof one is really good. So I'm going to add lots and lots of layers. Of course, if you are wearing false lashes or getting your eyelashes, getting like lash extensions or whatever, then you maybe don't need mascara, or you maybe will add the lashes afterwards. But for me, I'm just going to apply lots of mascara. So that is the lashes done, and now the eyes are finished, unless you want an inner corner highlight, which of course I do. So I'm going to add the highlighter now. This is the Goddess of Love Triple Baked Highlighter. Oh my gosh, do you mind? From I Heart Makeup. I actually don't even know if they do this anymore, but I absolutely adore this highlighter. It's so pretty. And I'm just going to work this onto the outside of the face. and just sort of onto the high point, so taking it round anywhere where you would naturally catch the light, and then of course just highlight right in that inner corner, and that makes your eyes sort of stand out a lot more as well, just makes them pop a little bit. And then lastly is the lipstick, so I'm just going to wipe off any foundation we've got on there. So the lip liner I'm using today is the Revolution Satin Kiss lip liner in the shade White Wedding, and I'm just going to draw the lips in. And I'm also using this lip liner to just scribble in sort of on the outer third of the lips, top and bottom. And then for lipstick, I'm going in with this one from L'Oreal. This is the Colour Riche Matte in 633 Mocha Chic. And this is obviously a matte lipstick, and I'm going over the whole lip with that and just blending it in with that lip liner. And those colours just go together so nicely. And that is me done. So if I was wearing this sort of natural brown smoky makeup look, I would more than likely have my hair down. So let's see how this looks. Can you tell I straightened my hair earlier? Ugh, it's so hot. So hot and humid. My hair is absolutely done in. And then this is actually what I wore on my wedding day, except I didn't wear it across the top of my head. I wore it around the back because my hair was down, but you know, a bit of sparkle. I got this just off Etsy. It was really cheap as well. I don't for one second think it was handmade. I think it was probably some mass-produced thing, but I absolutely loved it. So sparkly, and it could absolutely be worn like that. That's really pretty. So that is me done, ready for my wedding day. If only. I would absolutely do it again in a heartbeat. So that is my makeup done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any other like bridal makeup looks that you would like to see. I am absolutely here for the bridal makeup. I really like how this has turned out. Let me know if this is the sort of vibe that you would go for on your wedding day. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye!